Okay, so we are in the third chapter where we saw last week up to the Loka Sangraham from verse number 20 to 25. 20 to 25, we saw Loka Sangraham. And of course, I'm constantly putting it, the recording on the YouTube. I hope you all having ease of going through that again. And so further proceeding from the, and we said Loka Sangraham. Yeah, I'll just share the, 1 second, I'll have to, 1 second. I'll have to share the, sorry about that. Yeah. So we finished up to the verse number 25. Yeah, where it finished. Saktaha karmanya vidvamsaha yata kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvams tata saktaha chikirshu loka sangraham. Now, with that one is what is further expanded in today's class. And this is a kind of a teaching from this verse number 26 to 30, we will see. Probably 31 as well, 26 to 31, 6 verses, what we will see today is an expansion of that between an interaction between two persons. That is, one who is a jnani, who's a karma yoga jnani, who has been a karma yogi and he has attained that jnanam praptavataha. So that means he has become a jnani, means he has attained that moksha. Okay, and now he is spending the rest of his life. For what purpose he has to spend, Krishna defines it. That purpose is called Loka Sangraham. That is for the welfare of the remaining people, and that he acting like a mentor and as a living example, as a living karma yogi, not disturbing the balance of others. So then you have the other one. So he is calling in these all proceeding or succeeding verses, he will call that person as a vidvamsaha. Just not just a vidwan normally means a one who has learned. Here it is not just a learned person, but who has learned and he is an evolved jnani. Jnani, okay, a jivan mukta, in fact. Okay, so here vidvamsaha. And then there is another person he will keep on calling avidvamsaha. In this, avidvamsaha is equal to a karma yogi, a practicing karma yogi, who is doing the karma and then all the karma anushtanam with the purpose of maybe with some fruits, and he is in an evolvement stage. He say like most of us. Okay, so maybe some of you are not in jnani, so kshama, please, if in case everything. So what Krishna is saying is that karma yogi who is in an evolvement process and he is doing all the karma anushtanam and then all the jnana abhyas, everything he's learning, is again practicing it, and he's doing that. And he's engaged in the worldly affairs with his family and friends and udyogam and everything. So Krishna wants to balance these two, because when he is doing a Loka Sangraham, how does this Vidvam will be acting and the other person will be acting? So it is like a learning lesson for both. So that is why here he said, Hey Bharata, karmani saktaha avidvamsaha yata karmani kurvanti. That how that person who is an attached avidvamsaha here, this is avidvamsaha first line, that is still an evolving person in the karma yogi, how he is attached and then still doing the action, you shall also do similarly unattached. That's what he's saying, the second one. So how does it with asaktaha? So here number 7 is asaktaha vidwan. asaktaha vidwan lokasangraham chikirshuhu. This chikirshuhu tata kuryat. Tata kuryat means karmani kuryat, but asaktaha, as a vidwan. So you also engage in karma. Do not leave them. Do not drop those actions. That is the essence for the person who is an evolved person who is doing it. And he is doing similarly. Tata kuryat. So from outside aspects, when you do both of them, jnani or ajnani, vidwan or avidwan, both will be performing similar. But one is a vidwan, one is an avidwan. Okay, so but one is doing as a mentor, as an example. He's setting an example, and that person, that jnani, by his action alone, millions of people benefit. So that's what he's saying. And that one is also giving a kind of a teaching in 26 for the vidwan. Okay, so the Damuji, can you chant after me? Damayanti ji? Okay, I've unmuted you, asked you to unmute. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you
yes.
hear me? Yeah.
Okay. Na buddhi bedam janayet.
Na buddhi bedam janayet. Na buddhi bedam janayet.
Ajnanam karma sanginam.
Ajnanam karma sanginam. Ajnanam karma sanginam.
Joshayet sarva karmani.
Joshayet sarva karmani. Joshayet sarva karmani.
Vidwan yukta samacharan.
Vidwan yuktah samacharan. Vidwan yuktah samacharan.
Very good. Thank you. So here, this verse number 26 is a kind of a teaching for the jnani. Lokasangraha, karma, lokasangraha, jnani. So what Krishna says is, yuktaha. So the yuktaha means what? Yuktaha means one who has completely controlled and also who has got his self composed into that. Where is he composed into? Atma Jnanam. That Atma Jnanam, by which he is now as a jnani, because the jnanam is, so Atma Jnana Sanyuktaha. The jnani who is a Atma Jnana Sanyuktaha. That is what is this Yuktaha. Yuktaha. Number 3, that is we said number Yuktaha. Where is number 2? Sorry, am I not able to see? Yuktaha vidwan. Yeah, sorry. So yuktaha vidwan. So the yuktaha is an adjective for that vidwan who is a jnani. Yuktaha vidwan karma sanginam ajnanam. So that's Shashti. That it says yuktaha vidwan. Hey you yuktaha. Hey you atma jnani. Now he's saying, you know how you should treat the ajnani. That is, the ajnani is a karma sanginam. So this ajnanam karma sanginam ajnanam is a person like who is doing the karma, but is attached to the karma, but doing the karma morally, legally, spiritually, everything properly. But only thing is, he's still not becoming jnani. Ajnana. Okay, and that could include so many people who could, he still has a jnanam, but jnanam is not at evolved, and he's doing it with some expectations of the fruits. Okay, he's also doing it with samarpanam to Bhagavan, but still he has got that attachment, and that attachment could be from in the karma or in the people. So he is still evolving. He's evolving. For that, so Bhagavan wants to respect both of them, wants to keep both of them in their perspective. And he's saying, ye yuktaha, ye vidwan, with respect to this karma sanginam, ajnanam, you know what you should do? Buddhi bedam na janaye. So he is giving instruction for loka sangraham. Hey yuktaha, ye vidwan, to these people who are karma sanginam, ajnanam, buddhi bedam na janayet. Buddhi bedam. Buddhi bedam, that word is a very important thing. Buddhi Bheda means confusion in his orientation of normal meaning. This literal meaning is confusion in his orientation of knowledge by which, or his wisdom by which he is engaged in action. Why? Because he should not drop those karma by thinking that, okay, I'm now doing all these things, I don't want fruit. So he's saying, so dropping karma is such a dangerous thing. That's what Krishna is warning. Hey, you Loka Sangraha, you may be able to drop, but with those person, don't be a cause of confusion. That lest that this person be more confused. In Tamil they say, something very similar to that. Sorry, I'm just in a Tamil. वो क्या ना हिंदी में बोलता है, अरे वो तो कुछ काम करता है, उसका जाके बुद्धि में तुम कुछ और भी पिला दिया, वो अभी जो भी करता था वो सुबह शाम को कुछ उसका भी वो छोड़ दिया, क्योंकि वो बोलता मैं आत्मज्ञानी बन गया, उसका मत करो. So he says, not janayet. Janayet means you don't plant them seeds of confusion, because there is a possibility of seeding confusion. That is why Krishna is saying this. And why he is saying na janayet and sarva karmani janayet, buddhi vedam janayet sarva karmani samacharan joshayet. This is for the jnani. Sarva karmani samacharan. You also keep practicing all the karmani, the Shatru Pratim, Samacharan. Samacharan, you also be doing everything. Like morning, go to the temple, go to do your Sandhya Vandanam, do all your thing, puja, punaskaram, everything. Joshayet. Joshayet means Priti Bhavayet. You make him, oh God, if he is himself doing it, then I should also do it. So not only that, you should make him and inspire him to do the actions more. Joshayet means Priti Bhavayet, Priti Janayet. So it may be a bit of a thing. Oh God, Krishna is saying dropping the action. No, actions of the fruits of the actions and everything, but he's giving more and more important to the actions. So what is the kind of a thing here? I have to probably tell you with a story, then you will understand. So story time, you like this. And I was incidentally reading this story, and then you will exactly understand what Krishna is saying here. Now, this goes back to way long back around 1900s, okay, 1902 to 1905. There was one great lawyer who was not a judge, he was a very senior lawyer in Tirunelveli. His name was Ramachandra. Okay, this Rama, at that time, the Shringeri Jagat Gurus were Sri Sachidananda Shiva Abhinava Nrsimha Bharati's Mahaswamiji. This person was, this Ramachandra was a very learned person in everything. Not only, and those time itself, in those years, in 1895, he was involved in, say, Theosophical Society. So, he's well exposed into in his younger days. He was so exposed into the Western philosophy, like Aldous Huxley, Herbert Spencer. So, he's learning all his philosophy through the Western scholars. He's well versed and he's well placed in his life, quite a rich man too, because he's practicing lawyer. But when he was suddenly gone into the proper learning, and those days everybody learned Sanskrit in those years, everybody in school, everybody were this thing. So they could just open up so as he was going more and more into the scriptures and Gita and Shastram and properly, then he found there was some kind of a disorientation between the Sampradayic study and that Asampradayic study. And then he went to Shringeri somehow, traveled along. Somebody told him, look, you probably go and get your doubts cleared by go to Shringeri Acharya, they will clear you. So, he was, and when he went to all the way in those days to travel from, imagine from Tirunelveli all the way to Shringeri, it was a very, very tiring way you can go. I mean, story time, you will all like it as well. Say, for example, they have to change 4, 5, 6 trains. Now, train lines were there, I believe, because this is all I'm reading from his own book. Somehow I got that book. So they could reach up to Shimoga, and from there a little bit more like Kuppa. From there he again can go somewhere, and from there it's about 55 miles to Shringeri. And there will be only one horse cart which will go every day morning to deliver the post, and the next day it bring the post back. That's the only service available. And that horse cannot go 55 miles. Every 10 miles they will have a horse staple. So the cart will come, they will change the horse. You see, those days, that's how they were doing it. That's a refueling station. The horse cannot go more than 10 miles. So every 10 miles, they'll have a horse thing. So they have to change the horse and go, and they can pay that postman, and they can also go in that cart. So he somehow reached, and he went, and with all his kindness, namaskara, sashtanga, everything, and then he told all his doubts, and he was Acharya was so happy to listen. Okay, so this is how the Western scholars are saying, and then he cleared all of them, and he said, look, it is beyond the normal rational, and he taught him everything. Okay, after teaching everything, he again reached Sringeri. He got all his mantropadesham. He got his complete ashirvadam from there. And coming back to Tirunelveli after some time, he thought once he said, now I've got so much vivek, vairagyam, that I find no purpose in this life, in involving. By that time, he has got one son and two daughters. So his son was, I will come to the name of the person, his son. His son was also a very famous person. So this person then suddenly left one day, morning he took some train and left everything at home. He went to Kashi. And he left a letter for everybody. Nobody should come after me. Only my mother can come to Kashi after a few weeks. And nobody else had come. But somehow all of them caught courage, and they went and met him in Kashi after probably 3-4 weeks. And he literally said, no, now you cannot pull me away. And there he started sitting in like one of the, people who take bhiksha once in a day, and sitting somewhere in a corner. And he said, no, I won't come back home. Now you cannot pull me back from this. I have left everything. I cannot, my mind does not go in the day-to-day affairs. So then they said the only way is, okay, if we will talk to Sringeri Acharya, will you listen whatever he says? He says, yes. Whatever he says, I will listen. So they have to put a telegram, and then it took a couple of days. And Sringeri Acharya clearly told him, no, you have to go back to your home and engage back in your holy duties. So he has to try it, and he accepted it. So this is what the Jnani does. Because though he is in the evolvement stage, if he drops that karma, whatever he's been doing, but he has got ultimate vairagyam. Okay, and when he approached once to Sringeri Acharya that I need to leave all these things and take sannyasam, he said, yes, you will, tatastu, one day you will have. So he thought he has already got the permission. But you see, he was not ready. So Acharya told him, you come back. So he had to come back. So that is what Acharya did with a loka sangraham, but as a sannyasi, he said, no, you have to come back and then again perform all the things. So this is how the people, so this is what Krishna is keeping it in mind. Because Arjuna was similarly like that, because he wanted to drop all the things in the battlefield and he wanted to become a sannyasi, go for bhiksha, right? So Krishna is keeping the same thing. And Krishna being a jnani for loka sangraham, he is saying the same thing. You are not still ready. You should not have that confusion. So the most important thing is this. To drop your karma is such a dangerous thing, because it is just, you may be ready, but your people around you may not be ready, because karma is so interdependent. It cannot, the duties are so interdependent. So that's what Krishna wants to say, that person. So this is what I was saying. So they said, no, you cannot drop it. But ultimately, continuing that percent of the story. So that is what you see here. So Acharya acted with this particular shloka in mind. They know that. So so he said, no, you shall not drop it. Buddhi bedam na janayet. And that person again, after some time, went once again to do something like that to Papanasham. He was again brought back. And third time he went to Sringeri after some time, then he got sannyasam. That person's name is Ramananda Tirtha. He attained samadhi, and he was initiated, and he got a sannyasam later in 1920 in the presence of Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal and Nelamau Mata Pitadipati, then Kamalaranda Narasimha Bharati Swamigal. He initiated him the sannyasa, then he became Ramananda Tirtha. That Ramananda Tirtha's son was one A. Krishnasamy Iyer, not A. Krishnasamy Iyer, R. Krishnasamy Iyer. This R. Krishnasamy Iyer also got later sannyasam. He was known as Jnanananda Bharati Swamigal. That Jnanananda Bharati Swami here, he wrote one book called Jiva Yatra. Maybe some of you might have studied as well. So, but in all of them, what I'm trying to say is, even though a person who is also engaged in his normal walks of life, he can become a sannyasi or something, it is not that easy for you to drop a karma. And Krishna never, what can I say, recommends that throughout Gita. Throughout Gita, Krishna is only keeping the mind of that 99.9% of the karma yogi in that blue bucket. You remember that we have always been saying that blue bucket is a focus of Krishna, not on the saffron side of the bucket. So that's why he wants to again lay importance to this song. Okay. That's a bit of a story. And then, okay. Krishna Kumarji, can you chant after me if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Prakrite kriyamanani.
Prakrite kriyamanani. Prakrite kriyamanani.
Gunai karmani sarvashaha.
Gunai karmani sarvashaha. Gunai karmani sarvashaha.
Ahankara vimudhatma.
Ahankara vimudhatma. Ahankara vimudhatma.
Kartahamiti manyate.
Kartahamiti manyate. Kartahamiti manyate.
Okay, so this is verse 27 is for a avidvamsaha, ajnani. But having said that, Krishna is not putting down any of them in these, all of them. He is keeping each one of them in their perspective, respecting each one of them in their perspective, asking them to do that balance of act. That's what Krishna is doing. So in this verse, and for people like us who are in the process of learning, we learn both sides of it and see why these duties and this moral, our dharma is made so much essential part and parcel of this evolvement to moksha. That is most important. So Krishna says in the karma, so he is still in this karma. Karmani sarvashaha, all these action, duties, that is our, all this sarvashaha from all perspective. It could be a nitya karma, or it could be a laukika karma, or it could be the karma that you have to do like a pujartham, vishesha karma, or all of them, naimitika karma, all the karmani sarvashaha from all this perspective. Why they are of the nature, they are prakrite gunaihi kriyamanani. So that means karmani kriyamanani. Kaihi kriyamananahi gunaihi kriyamanani. Kasya gunaihi prakritehe gunaihi kriyamanani. Sorry, I'm just doing a bit of akanksha. I should not be too much. So what is saying Krishna? All these karmani sarvashaha, all of them are actually propelled, or there is an engagement nature of this prakriti. This prakriti, which is that balance of, as you said, the creation of which everybody is a part and parcel, inside of us, outside of us, there is a nature that is bound and abound, and that nature is filled up with the guna. What is a guna? Sattva, rajas, tamasa guna. And by that admixture of the guna that is inside a person and in this nature, or in his surroundings, or in his house, that is what is a kriyamanani. By that engagement, the actions are propelled, whether you like it or not. So that's a kind of an aura of this action-bound entity that we are all part and parcel of. So Krishna wants to say, respect it and you cannot negate it. But while respecting this guna, which is sattva rajas guna, and that is what is a beautiful thing of Gita. The Gita, how these actions and guna are intermingled, the analytical process by which a karma yoga evolves, you will not find in any other text. These are essence drawn from so many Puranas, so many Upanishads, so many other ones, because Upanishads do not talk much about karma. That's what I wanted to do. So in Gita, Krishna has evolved everything for karma yogi. So what he says is, respect this karma, this particular actions. But while respecting it, he says, have that detachment. That is the technique. Karmani kaushala. So there Krishna says, ahankara vimudatma, aham karta iti manyate. So the aham karta is what Krishna wants to remove by knowledge. The karta bhavam. The karta bhavam, what he says is, when he says ahankara vimudatma, this ahankara is equal to that attachment in one's own self of this body, this mind, and in this intellect. And in that attachment, as if that you have to do this in both while being engaged in the karma or not engaged in karma. That you are not the one that to determine that whether I should drop the action or quit the action, because this is engagement of the whole nature. So he says, do not put only your entity as the prime purpose, because you have attached so much into your wants and desires, vimudatma, with that kind of a nature, of a selfish nature maybe, vimudatma, then you say, aham karta iti manyate, that I am the doer, iti manyate. So that is how people are doing it. But the Vidwan, you know how he does, Arjuna? Okay. So, Shankarji, you are my Shankara Maithilji, you can chant after me if you don't mind.
Okay, Babaji.
Okay. Tattvavittu mahabaho.
Tattvavittu mahabaho. Tattvavittu mahabaho.
Gunakarma vibhagayoh.
Gunakarma vibhagayoh. Gunakarma vibhagayoh.
Guna guneshu vartante.
Guna guneshu vartante. Guna guneshu vartante.
Iti matva na sajjate.
Iti matva na sajjate. Iti matva na sajjate.
Okay. So now this interaction of the Prakriti, it's all Prakriti, because that Prakriti Krishna is analyzing in this one. And he says how we can detach that aham karta, the karta bhavam. Karta bhavam, how that should be engaged, because there should be a karta bhavam. You cannot, because otherwise there is no actions at all, if I am not totally. But the karta bhavam, Krishna wants to get a bit more analytical thought and to make sure that while engaging in these thoughts, how that you can still be detached. And that Krishna says, but you know what? Yet tu means, but Arjuna, Mahabhago, oh, that's mighty arm, because you have now got to do the karma. Guna karma vibhagayoho. Meaning to say, between this guna and this karma, in their analytical dispositions, vibhagayoho, there is a lot of functional analytical elements in both of them, in the guna and in the karma. Vibhagayoho, tattvavit, the one who has understood the philosophical aspect of it. I'll come to this number 3 a little bit later. Tattvavit, the one who has understood the philosophy behind this guna and karma, you know how he does? Guna guneshu vartante. Gunas are engaged in gunas. Guna, all these 3 guna, guneshu, in the guna, vartante. That's how they are engaged. So it's a bit of a kind of a, not a sentence that easily we can analyze. So we will do that one. Guna vaneshu vartante iti matva, thus completely having a, not just an opinion, having completely understood. Na sajjate. So if I understand that, I will not get into this attachment. Sajjate means attached into this. But na sajjate, asaktaha. So that is how he becomes asaktaha. So if I know this guna karma vibhagaha and the guna guneshu vartante engagement process, then I can get detached. Right? So that's the jnanam. So for the ajnani, and we still have to do the karma. So the guna karma vibhaga yoga, what Krishna wants to say here, there is guna, and the guna has got only 3 things, right? 3. That is being sattva, rajas, and tamas. And the karma could be million, trillion. That's no problem. But in all the guna and the karma, what Krishna wants to say, a person who is a sattvic, say for a person is also sattvic, but his outside could be of any different nature. That is just not in his control. But the actions that he is involved, because you are the one who is going to do. At that action, if done with the Satvika guna, with a Satvika instrument, that is your Antakaranam, Satvika Karanam, then the karma becomes a Satvika karma. And the doer become a Satvika karta. If that person is more rajasic in his nature, and that so the same action, that is why we said actions are same, but internally if that guna is also rajasic, and then the instrument also being very rajasic, and the resultant, because the nature is actually, though it's unmixture, it has got no result of it one, but then when you also engage in a rajasic karma, the results and effects also being a, then he is also a rajasa karta, then the effects are also rajasaha. When that become rajasa, the effects become both of sukha and dukkha, and then raha, moga, everything. But whereas a sattvika guna done with a sattvika karta, his results and effects are always peaceful, and which is also giving him more and more of the jnanam for him to get out of that. And tamasa guna impelled person, with that tamasa guna, tamasa karanam, tamasa engagement, then the karta becomes a tamasa karta, the karma becomes a tamasa karma, and the phalam becomes also a tamasa phalam. So in this one, this particular one, again, one we saw this number 3, and this number 3 is be very well expanded in chapter 18. But having said that, we have expanded little bit here. Little bit we'll see 5 and 6, and then we will go a little bit more. So in the guna guneshu, the first number 5 guna is the guna of the person doing it. In the guneshu means that is the resultant effect. So guna number 5 is a cause, guneshu is the effect or the phala or the resultant effects. So with the sattvika, that's why I said karta, karma, and all these ones. So the sattvika guna, guneshu vartante iti matva, thus having known, na sajjate. So he knows, okay, there is a guna in me, that I am part and parcel of that. I cannot control the guna outside of me, but I can control the guna inside me, or of me what it is. Because if there is both of them where there is no control, then we are all like a robot. Then why there is a teaching should be there? If everything is automatically programmed in the Prakriti, then where is the control of me? Okay, I don't have a control, but then if there is no control for me, then what is the point of the teaching? So the essence here is that guna in me, yes, I can make it more and more refined from tamasa to rajasic to sattva. I can keep promoting that by having my habits into a sattvika habits and everything. That's what will come in number 17 and 18. But having said that, so what happens here, what Krishna again wants to say here is, say for example, let us take only one sloka from chapter 18, which will be very good for you, because these are now, though I have said in a kind of a very conceptual nature, you may not get it in, you may want to see, you may want to know a little bit more into a more definite example. So, if you check in that chapter 18, what Krishna says, for example, Sattvika Karta, how he does, Mukta Sangona Hambhadi, Dhrityutsaha Samanvitaha, Siddhya Siddhyor Nirvikaraha, Karta Sattvika Uchyate. So, a Sattvika Karta. So, because now we have determined, yes, I want to be a Sattvika Karta, because being a Sattvika Karta or a Sattvika doer, I am certainly going to not get attached, and I am going to get released more and more in this attachment, though I will be doing my action up to my last breath. That is not a problem. Now, what the Sattvika Karta said, Mukta Sangonaham Vadi, he is Utsaham, that is always cheerful. Number 1, he is very cheerful, Utsaham. Siddhya Siddhyaha, that he does not determine the fruit because it is going to be, he knows what the fruits are going to be because there is some resultant effect. But the resultant effect come today, tomorrow, or it has come, or in a different one, it's a failure. He is not moved by that. Siddhya Siddhyoho Nirvikaraha, he is unshaken by that. Because in all these things, he is doing it with a arpanam to Krishna, to Bhagavan, Ishvara Arpanam. Ishvara, this is up to you, because you are Paladata, And that person, and you do sometimes actions, as we grow more and more, our actions are for more and more to others, to our children, grandchildren, or your friends and everybody. And in that, it may become fruitful or not fruitful, but nirvikaraha, he does not get shaken by that, because it is up to for them to consume how they want. Siddha siddho nirvikaraha. So, and that kind of a person is that satvika karta. And that satvika karta, in that one, we will also more about, that's rajasa karta. What he does, ragi karma pala prepsuhu. That ragi means the minute he is attached to the fruits, karma pala prepsuhu. That is very much attached to the fruits first, not to the karma. Then the karma becomes a raga. So the first qualification is, that's why all the thing has to be analyzed. That first thing is, I should not be attached to the fruits. If I'm not attached to the fruits, I'm automatically not attached to the action. That is the first clue. Very easy clue from the chapter 18. If I'm not attached to the fruits, I am not going to be. And okay, but the fruits are required. How it is going to be consumed again, that I may not, it's not in my control. Again, I'm not going to be in the attached to the consumption of the fruits. But that I will, then if attachments are not there, then the actions that you perform automatically will not have that raga. Ragi karma pala prepsuho lupto himsatmaka shuchihi harsha shokan with a karta. Now the harsha shokan means he, while performing the action, he now becomes more, sometimes dispassionate, sometimes more. He's not a constant utsaha like the other person. There's no cheerfulness for him. Harsha shokan with a karta, that kind of a karta is only half the time propelled by whether I should do this or not do this. No, this doesn't materialize. So that kind of a person is what is a ragi. So, and then tamasa karta, that word itself you need. First one, Bhagavan said, ayukta karma, ragi karma karta sa rajasa uchyate ayukta prakritas stapdihi shato naishkriti kolasaha vishadi dirgha sutri cha karta satvika karta tamasa uchyate. That first word we should get it in that one is tamasam, means delay, time. That is one thing Krishna keeps on saying in this. Time, whenever there is a delay, the karma is a tamasa karma. That is why when somebody comes delay, we say, wow, tamasa vandepa, tamas kyu. So time is very important. So satvika karma means time is important. Punctuality is very important. Number one. So that's why he says dirgha sutri. Dirgha sutri means he keeps on postponing it. Why now? No later. No later. So you see the utsavam completely opposite. That's a tamasa karta. The minute he goes into tamasa karta, that is as if not doing it at all. Shato naiskritiko lubdaha. So he's all the time a loser, kind of a losing that action and the fruits. So in these ones, having analyzed all these things, that's why the guna karma vibhagaya, that person, when he knows his guna guneshu vartante, he always wants to focus on the sattvika guna, so that the guneshu in the resultant effects, which will be also sattvikam, by that vartante actually, by that engagement, having known that this tattvavit who has understood this tattva, accordingly never gets attached, because he is only involved in the sattvika guna with the sattvika effect. That's what I wanted to explain. So you understand this particular one. This again explain this in chapter 5 as well. But I hope you understand this particular guna guneshu guna karma vibhaga. Are you okay? Can we proceed to the next process? Okay. If you have any doubt, you can start. No problem. Now again, Bhagavan is coming to avidvamsaha. Okay. Can chant after me. Ganapati Ramji, can you please chant after me? Please.
Okay, I will do it.
Thank you. Prakriter guna sammudhaha.
Prakriter guna sammudhaha. Prakriter guna sammudhaha.
Sajjante guna karmasu.
Sajjante guna karmasu. Sajjante guna karmasu.
Thana kritsna vido mandhanam.
Tana Krishno Vida Mando Mandan. Tana Krishna Vido Mandan.
Krishna Vinna Vichalayet.
Krishna Vinna Vichalayed. Krishna Vinna Vichalayed.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Oh, sorry. So again, what
Yes.
Bhagavan wants to say here, thank you, is very similar to the that 26th one, na buddhi bedam janaye. So here, what it says, prakritehe guna sammudaha. Prakritehe. Because now from this particular creation, yeah, and those who are so much clutches in these three gunas, that they are being toiled between all these three gunas all the time, or maybe they don't even understand this. There's aspects of recognizing this sattvika, rajasic, or tamasic, and that they are somehow mixed in this all the time. They don't know what is this. Guna sammudaha. They do not neither understand the guna vibhaga nor the karma vibhaga, and they are just propelled by nature. Prakriti guna sammudaha. Guna karmasu sajjante. And here again, is all Bhagavan, when he says sammudaha, don't take them as totally people who are written off. They are also people who are morally involved, religiously involved in everything, but they are again and again involved into the guna and the karmasu, and being born and again, because of the attachment sajjante in all the guna and the karmasu. Okay, so keeping that one line in perspective, again, what Krishna says, Tana, that is of these sammudaha, that is avidvamsaha, Tana kritsna vidaha. Tana akritsna vidaha. Tana akritsna, that akritsna vidaha. Kritsna means total. Vidaha means knowledge. Those who do not know the totality of the knowledge, akritsna vidaha or avidvamsaha. So akritsna vidaha, number 6, is equal to avidvamsaha. Tana avidvamsaha or akritsna vidaha. And how are they also mandan? They are also mandan, as I told you, tamasic maybe. That is why we say mandan, slowness, delayed, mandan. Okay, that was the slowness one, mandan is manda buddhi. They are not that much able to analyze this and do. Mandan, kritsna with, that you, the vidwan, kritsna with, na vichalaye. Don't go and unnecessarily disturb him. You see this one? That because now I have learned all Gita, I know everything, or a little bit half-baked. Now you don't go and keep telling him, same thing as I told you. Don't go and do his buddhi bedam, janayet. He will get it. What Krishna also wants to, why Krishna wants to say this, very important. This is all beautifully, I'm again and again so thankful to Swami Omkarandaji. He will say in this one, see, this moral doing the performing the actions of karma, though we are attached, but doing it properly, even repeatedly, daily, sometimes we do the japa, we do everything. Sometimes the mind wanders about. Most of the time maybe wanders, but don't leave it. Don't say that, oh, why my mind is not, so I don't want to do without putting my mind into control. Keep doing it. It will bear the fruits. That's what Krishna wants to say here. Don't drop that action. Keep doing it in time. Keep refining it. And that one, so by that nature itself, though you may be doing, for example, more for the children, it is okay, Krishna says. I know you're attached, but the other, the Krishna with one who has known this, na vichalaya, don't go and disturb him. Because it takes a kala kramanam. That is kalam, time and process evolvement is something within the nature that cannot be expedited. That it has to take its time. It takes time from person to person. That cannot be stopped. That's what Krishna is going more and more in this, in a way. And then he says, so how should that karma yogi then perform all these actions so that he can also become a vidwan and also get detached? And Krishna gives a very good recipe, which is the essence of this whole karma yoga in this particular verse number 30. Lakshmi ji, can you chant after, please? Mayi sarvani karmani.
मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि
Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा
Nirashir nirmamo bhutva.
निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा
Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः.
Very good. Thank you. So Krishna again wants to say here, look, in all these ones, again is coming back to that verse number 9. Yajnarthat karmanon yatra. The very easy recipe, what Krishna says is, you know, you karma yoginaha, that you are all now engaged. What you do first time is adhyatma chetasa. Chetas means that buddhi. That buddhi, how it is, adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatma means in your body, mind, and in your intellect control, everything in unison. That body, your mind, your buddhi should be the boss, mind in its next order, and then your indriyani. That's how that's what you'll expand further in this whole chapter. That's why this chapter is a really essence of karma yoga. So he says, adhyatma chetasa, with that of your complete, your whatever is in your control, whatever you can control. Maybe you are not able to control everything, but try to put them in the order of control. From what you have learned, applying that and telling the mind not to get swayed by the emotions and whatever that it could sway, that trusting that knowledge will take him in the right path, and with all these instrument of actions, to the extent that it can function, all of them together in this fashion, that adhyatma chetasa, with that, sarvani karmani, all the actions you do, maybe you are not able to determine whether it is satvikam, rajasam, tamasam, we don't know. Mayi sanyasya, deposit everything into that. I am happy to take charge of it. You sometimes are in a doubt how you want to do, or am I doing it properly? Oh, I got delayed. Oh, that they said tamasam means delayed. We said tamasa karma. Do not worry. Mayi sanyasya. If your surrendership is completely in me, if that there is a total surrender in me, mayi sanyasya. Nirashir nirmamaha bhutva. Nirashir. That particular, I have got no desires in the actions or in the fruits. Krishna, if you determine that today this has to start late, that is be you. I have tried my best. Do not put your too much of the desires in that actions or in the fruits. Nirmamaha. Neither these fruits nor their actions are really mine. Bhutva, having said that, vigatajvaraha, not having any tension. Peaceful. Jwara means when you tremble. So no anticipation, no tension, tension-free, passion-free, yudhyasva. In this yudhyasva for Arjuna to do that, you shall fight, and for us perform the action. Karmani kurushva. Karmani kuru. Karmani kuru. That is the main thing he's saying. Yudhyasva is equal to Kuru, all the karmani. But the main thing is adhyatma chetasa. With everything in don't control, not getting the mind being the boss, buddhi being the boss, with the mind in its control, with all the indriyam in its ability to whatever they can do, and complete surrendership into me, when Vasudeva, into Vasudeva, the omniscient, the Krishna, Lord Krishna, everything depositing it into him. I don't even know what to sannyasa. Sannyasya means here not that to release anything, but deposit into him, taking his refuge, prapatti, as in, they say the complete prapatti, holding on to him. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva vigatajvara yudhyasva. These are the golden words of Krishna in this Karma Yoga, this chapter 30. That complete deposit. And Krishna again gives the palastuti for this particular one. Sri Vidya, can you chant after me? Ye me matamidam nityam.
ये मे मतमिदं नित्यं
ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम्
अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः
अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः
श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तः
श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तः
मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः
मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः
Okay, thank you. Okay, so here Krishna gives the palastuti of the verse number 30. Ye manavaha, this number 1 and 2, meaning to say these people, karma yogi, who was now doing the actions as in this as in verse number 30, completely surrendering and doing up to the all his actions and the fruits and their born into me alone. Ye manavaha, these people. Manavaha, this verse is called Anasuyantaha. Anasuyantaha means na asuyantaha, anasuyantaha. So asuya means, asuya means finding some flaws, not having that complete faith, not having that complete, oh, what will happen? Have I, or sometimes not having that faith in yourself. That because he's got jara, that shakiness. Anasuyantaha. But anasuyantaha means one who has got no kind of any doubt in this. I know I have that kind of an aura of protection around me, Krishna, that you are determining this environment and circumstances that these actions are happening, because this Prakriti is engaged by you, and in me as an entity in this, it is you who are now put this web of the world around me, my children or my husband or my wife or this whole my work or my house or my place, everything, it is you who have determined. And I'm within just a particle within that. But I know that as far as I'm concerned, I've completely refused and you are taking care of me. That is Anasuyantaha. Was not one bit of a doubt in that one particular feeling. Anasuyantaha. And because of that, he is a Shraddhavantaha. That Shraddha, that means that particular, just not a faith, that complete conviction in himself and in the Bhagavan. That Shraddhavantaha, Anasuyantaha, Shraddhavantaha, me matam, me idam matam. My teaching, that it is on verse number 30. Me idam matam anutishtanti. This ye manavaha anasuyantaha shraddhavantaha me idam matam nityam anutishtanti. And this kind of a person, having that my teaching as about anutishtanti, that he is completely standing by that and is engaged in the action, for that person, Krishna guarantees that te api karmabihi muchyante. By that, just by that Shraddha and the Anasuyantaha, when they act, te api, meaning to say, these people too, like a jnani. Why? Otherwise, you should say api. Because the Loka Sangraha, when they are doing action, they are already having karma being muchyante, because they are already muktaha, jivan muktaha. So they are already been released from attachment. But you karma yogi too, by just following this one verse I have told in 30, you too shall be released from the attachment from the action. Karma bihi muchyante. Yes, I'm still doing the karma vibhaga, jnana, guna karma vibhaga, and I do not know how much I'm sattvic. Maybe I may not, I do not know. But Krishna, that I have deposited everything. It is you who are determining this environment, circumstances in what I'm engaged in. And I completely deposit into you. And even though I may be in my control, but I know for one thing that I am propelled by you. With that action, who does? Tepi karma bihi muchyante. That is the karma palastutihi. That with a complete sanyasya adhyatma chetasa buddhi. Okay. With that, I will finish today. Om Tat Sat. We have got no doubts in today's teaching from after Loka Sangraham. how he has tackled. Again, just to wrap up for today, how he has gone very closely with Vidwan and Avidwan, with both a person. That is, one is a karma yogi who is still in the practice in the, any nature of one of the person, that karma yogi in the blue bucket, and another person who is a Jivan Mukta, who is doing it the karma yogam continuously, and for him also he is giving the teaching in this, how he should. So how these two people interact, that kind of a thing he said in the first four slokas. And then in the verse 30, he again condensed it, everything for the karma yogi, how he can do this so that he cannot get attached into the action. The karta bhavam, that I am the doer bhavam, how that will go, that also Krishna says in 30. And with that complete surrender, he says, tepi karma bihi muchante, in the kala kramenacha. But he does not want you to defeat the time and the process. The time and process is not in your hands. That's also very clearly said in today's teaching. And that's what he will expand furthermore in that. And they are saying that kalan promotion, the process, kala kramam, meaning to say time and process, has got its own entity in Prakriti. That don't defy, that will take its stand. That's all Krishna is saying in this whole karma. Okay. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu
उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्या
Yoga Shastre Shri
Krishna Arjuna Samvade
Karma Yogo Nama Yodhyaya Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om.